Let's make a cobweb sweeper to sit on top of a broomstick handle. I briefly explained how to do this in a different video, but I didn't make a proper tutorial. I'm using a worsted weight cotton yarn, a 4.5mm crochet hook, and scissors. And then I like to have a scrap piece of thread to use as our stitch marker. I'm going to start off with a magic ring. We'll do 3 fingers so we have a nice big ring while we're practicing. So you're just going to grab your yarn, wrap it around, and then bring this alongside of this, bring it parallel, cross it in front. Now you're going to take your hook, go under the first thread and over the back thread. You want to grab that. You can twist your hook to make sure that you don't lose the thread. Pull it through, and you should have an X there holding that on. Should be a loop, and then you're gonna, you want to make sure that this loop is crossed, and then you can yarn over your thread, your yarn, so it's going over the hook, and pull that through. Now we can straighten out this yarn, and we're gonna go into the ring, grab this yarn. So we've got that wrapped on our hook, and then the yarn goes behind. We're going to wrap it around over here and pull it through. So this is our first single crochet in this magic ring. And now we're going to do that again. We're going to do our single crochet by going into the loop and behind, pulling the yarn forward, and then yarning over and pulling through. So we want 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you're going to grab this loose here and just pull it tight. And that is where the magic comes from. Now we have a circle, and I am going to just tuck in my scrap yarn, and then we can do a slip stitch right here. For a slip stitch, you're going to just put your hook through, yarn over, wrap the yarn around the hook, and pull it through. Instead of a single stitch where you stop here, you're going all the way through. Now, the broomstick that I'm using isn't super big. I really only need one more round. We're doing a back loop only single crochet. So we're going to avoid this front loop here. We're going to put our hook under the back loop, yarning over, pulling through, yarn over, twist and pull. Now for an increase, we do that in the same hole again. So we're going under the back loop, yarning over, pulling through, yarning over, pulling through. There's our increase. So we're going to do 6 increases around. So that just means we're going to do one in that hole and then another one in that hole. So we're going to double the amount of stitches. We're going to go from 6 to 12. So that's 2 and increase. So we got 4. Oh no! Oh no, the problem with this yarn is it does split a little bit. So I gotta make sure that you go through all of it. It's not the end of the world if you don't, but it'll look nicer. At the end of the day, it's just for sweeping cobwebs. So if it doesn't look great, that's fine. But we've got, I am not keeping track of my stitches. I'm just gonna do an increase until I get back to the beginning, because I can't explain things and count at the same time. What do you want from me? Okay, so now we're back to our thread. So we could go through and count. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, and that's perfect. Every time you come back to the scrap, just tuck it over. We could join it with a slip stitch here. Yarn over, go straight through. So now we have 12, and we're not doing any more increases. This is going to be how big it is. So you might want to check and make sure that this is going to fit over your broomstick. If your broomstick is wider than this and your yarn isn't stretchy, then you're just going to want to do a single crochet increase all the way around, and that should be wide enough. But this is wide enough for my broomstick. So now I am going to do another back loop only. Instead of doing increases all the way around, I'm just doing a single crochet back loop only stitch all the way around. So our stitch count should stay at 12 until we get it to the length that we want it. And these are all going to be back loop only because that's going to give you a good foundation to put in the little dust catchers. So as we're going, it's forming like a little cup shape. We have lost track of our stitch counter guy. That's okay. I'll just tuck it back in. Because we did the back loop only, we have this line right here going all the way down. So it's like ribbed, and that's what we want. Okay. So I'll try it on. I think I want another inch. So this is, how many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rows of just the 12 around. And it's pretty good. I just want it to be a little bit longer. So I think I'm gonna do another 4 rows. If your scrap yarn starts to get too short, you just gotta tug on it. Be careful not to pull it all the way through, but it should come up. Now we still have a record of where we've been. We've got extra yarn to play with. Now that you have it a good length, we can go ahead and take out the scrap yarn. And what we're going to do now is we're going to start to make use of the front loops that we haven't yet used. So I'm gonna go ahead, finish this off with a slip stitch, and then turn it a bit, because we are going to go into just a close front loop. And you're just gonna slip stitch there, so pull it through, and now we're just gonna do chain stitches. For a chain stitch, all you're doing is wrapping the yarn over and pulling it through. So wrap it over, and you can twist your hook so that it's holding on to that yarn for you. Pull it through the hole. For this project, we don't need to keep anything tight. This whole thing can be done nice and loose. You're just going to wrap it over, pull it through. Wrap it over, pull it through. Wrap it over, pull it. For this project, you don't need a consistent number of chains. You can do between 5 and 7 chains is a good number, but if you want to do more and have it even fluffier, you can do that. It will take you more time and it will take you more thread. But it doesn't need to be consistent, it doesn't need to be pretty. It's gonna all be okay. This one, it's kind of up to you how many you do. You can even start doing the chain stitches up higher if you want to save some yarn and save some time. But you know, let's make a really nice cobweb sweeper. So you're gonna want to do 10 to 12 chains, and then you can just slip stitch that on to the next closest front loop. Then do another series of chains. I'm not really counting how many chains I do because this is a cobweb sweeper. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to have a lot of little fingies to catch all the cobwebs. So we've got a little palm tree. We're gonna view it as a palm tree. I will catch back up with you when I have more rows of this done. As far as these little fingies go, I think it works best if you do between 5 and 7 chains. But whatever works for you and your yarn and how much time you want to put into it is what works. I think if you did more chains, then it would be fluffier, but it would also use more yarn and take longer. So I have done these all the way up. We have just the tip left. Okay, so we're pretty much at the top now. And I want to make sure that this stays really fluffy. So now instead of like joining to the next, joining to the next, joining to the next, joining to the next, I am going to try to kind of double it up a little bit. So we'll join this one here and make another one. And then instead of joining to the next, I'm just gonna go join it to the same one. And now this one I will join to the next. No, I just went to the same one again. Okay, so then we'll do this to the next one. Now this one will go back to this hole. And now I'm gonna take a break and I am gonna go fishing for the thread that I started with that we pulled to make the circle tight, because we don't actually need it to be inside of here. Where are you? Come here. Let's see. Let's see if I can help it out a little bit. Okay, I think I got it. Come on, yeah. So when I get my little fingies up there, then we'll be able to use it to help us finish this off. Because we might as well. We've got it, so we might as well use it. What the hell? Ugh. Once you work all the way back to the top here, you can cut a thread. You're gonna want to still leave a good amount, but cut your thread, pull that through. Now you can tie this in a knot. Tie this in a knot, and then what we could do, so jam your hook through, pull back one of the threads so you have a loop, and make a chain. And then you can just wait a minute for that one. We'll tie it off a bit better soon, hopefully. And then do the same thing for this one. So jam your needle through, pull the thread through so you have a loop that you can make a chain with. And yeah. And then we'll just knot it again so that way we have extra protection, because this is going to go through the wash a lot. Can I do that up here? I don't think so. I feel like this might be a good time for some fancy sailor's knot, but I don't know how to do any of that. We're just doing a good old knot. So now we have an extra long, this fingy ended up being a little extra long. So if you have a broom that has a hole that you hang on stuff, then you can make sure you have an extra loop here, because you're going to be covering that up. But you've got little loops everywhere so that you can pick up all of the cobwebs and dust. There we go. One little cobwebby grabber. All done. Once the cobweb sweeper does its job and it gets dirty, you can pop it right off and stick it in the wash, and then keep using it forever. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!